Hey, listen up. This is a story from way back, before smartphones were even the thing. It's about this guy named Min-soo, a regular salaryman in his early 40s, just grinding away at his company job. But you know how it goes. Life hits you with those midlife worries. Man, I worked so hard this time, but no promotion again. Kids are growing up, need to move houses, money's always on my mind. And as he got older, his body wasn't what it used to be, and all these thoughts just kept piling up. Then, one day, he overheard something about 3J. What's that? You looked it up and found out it's this Korean folk belief thing. 3 years of bad luck based on your birth date. Koreans have a strong faith in folk superstitions like that. He got curious and started checking out books like Tojong Bigil, those common folk fortune-telling books. Oh, interesting. What's my fortune like? He searched online, but most stuff required payment. Isn't there anything free? That's when he discovered portal site cafes, online communities. He joined one, read posts interpreting Tojong Bigil, and got hooked. He started posting, commenting, "Thanks," on other stuff and dove right in. Back then, portal site community chat rooms were the big thing for chatting, not like today's SNS. Min-soo started chatting with people there, made friends, and they used nicknames with their locations, like Seoul Min-soo or New York Min-soo if that's where they lived. As the new year approached, he saw posts in the cafe and thought, maybe I should get my fortune read. In Korea, lots of people go see their yearly fortune when the new year hits. They visit mudang houses. A mudang is someone who comes from a family line doing shamanistic stuff, telling fortunes about good or bad luck ahead, exorcisms, selling talismans, performing rituals. They each have spirits they serve. Getting your fortune from a mudang means getting advice or prophecies about your uncertain future. It's like comfort for the mind, though some people believe it super strongly. Min-soo had only gotten his fortune read once or twice before, casually with friends, but now he was serious. Where's a good place that reads fortunes well? He posted in the chat room, anyone know a good fortune-telling spot in my neighborhood? This active user replied, that place is famous there, and recommended one. Really? They good? Yeah, they hit it spot on. For New Year fortune, 30,000 won should cover it. They even gave the phone number. Min-soo called the next day, but it was a popular mudang house, fully booked, so he could only go in 2 weeks. He waited and finally went. Opened the door and the mudang was sitting there. He greeted and said, I'm here for my New Year fortune. The mudang stared at him for a while and said, Min-soo, I see an accident coming up soon. Get the New Year fortune. Be really careful for the next month or two, especially when driving or going far. Min-soo was like, I came to ask if my luck's good or bad, and suddenly a car accident. He was shocked, but said, I'll be careful. Then the mudang said, you'll see me again anyway, and didn't even take the fee, just told him to go. Min-soo felt uneasy, but thought, I'll be careful this year, and went back to normal life. But unbelievably, a week later on his way to work, a porter truck slammed into his car. His neck and back hurt so bad, he got hospitalized. Suddenly, the mudang's words hit him. Whoa, did they really predict it? It could be coincidence, but after the accident, he wanted to ask more, so he called the mudang. It's the guy you read for last time. You said an accident was coming and it really happened. I'm in the hospital. I want to see you again. They said come tomorrow. Next day at the mudang house, the mudang said, I told you you'd come back, right? Then they started muttering prayers or spells, staring intensely at Min-soo, and their face got serious. Before, I saw a car accident, but now I see you lying in a coffin. I hesitated to say it, but right now, there's a terrifying evil spirit clinging to your back. Work's not going well, and your condition's been bad lately, huh? Min-soo was totally shocked. Lying in a coffin means dying, but I have kids. The mudang said, that's what I see now, and explained this isn't a normal ghost. Min-soo has to overcome it himself. Then they suggested, let's do a 100-day prayer. Pray for 100 days to defeat the evil spirit yourself for a happy ending. Otherwise, you'll need a gut. A gut is like a ritual the mudang does, mixing exorcism and ceremony. Min-soo asked, should I do the gut then? The mudang said, don't rush into that. First, try the 100-day prayer to overcome it yourself. How much for the prayer? No money for the prayer itself. I'll provide the place, so just pay 300,000 won. Min-soo was uneasy, but the mudang had predicted the accident. So in his anxiety, he asked, how do I do it? Starting tomorrow, come every dawn at 5 a.m. for prayer. The next day at 5 a.m., Min-soo went to the Mudang's Hadok house, this isolated, creepy, traditional Korean house on the outskirts. No people around. The Wudang came out and explained the method. For 100 days, come here, drink purified water first, go into this small square room, sit with your back to a candle, and stare at the corner of the room. There will be a jar full of rice with a candle stuck in it. The candle burns for about an hour. Stare at the corner until it goes out. Think of nothing. Min-soo said okay, drank the water, sat with his back to the candle and stared. At first, he was so sleepy he kept nodding off. The Mudang opened the door and yelled, "I'm doing this much for you, snap out of it." Min-soo apologized and focused. Repeating this every dawn made his life routine, and in less than a month, something changed. At first, he couldn't concentrate, but suddenly he could stare intensely, like crazy. Then one day, the candle's shadow flickered on the wall like heat haze, and something weird appeared. At first, just a shadow, but it took shape. In the blurry mist, red eyes flashed, sharp teeth showed in a goblin face emerging. What the hell? His heart dropped, but he couldn't look away despite the fear. The goblin's face got closer, like he could hear its breath. That face like it popped out of darkness with a creepy smile. Min-soo yelled, "Mudang!" From outside, "Stay focused and keep watching." Whether real or hallucination, when the candle went out, the goblin vanished. The Mudang came in and said, "You held up well. You saw the evil spirit you have to defeat? It's just starting, so brace yourself." He was too far in to stop. Day by day, the goblin got clearer. Now not just the face, the body too. From a pale misty body, long arms stretched out with sharp claws gleaming. As the candle flickered, the goblin's shadow danced on the wall, and he felt cold breath on his back. One day, it seemed to walk through the wall right up to him. The face grew huge, like growling in his face. Min-soo's body shook. He yelled, "Mudang, what is this?" But keep watching, stay sharp. Min-soo's body wasted away. No sleep, no appetite, weight dropping, but his mind was oddly clear. His wife worried, "Are you sick? Why so thin?" But he said, "I'm fine, no problem," and kept going. Then at home watching TV, suddenly a goblin shadow flashed behind him. A chilling vibe filled the room, spine tingling. Even when his son was doing homework, the goblin seemed to approach the kid. Min-soo jumped up, ran to his son's room, hugged him tight, and cried, "Stay away." His wife said, "What's wrong with you? Snap out of it." But Min-soo said, "It's almost over, don't worry." Finally, the company saw he looked bad and gave him unpaid leave. Take some rest. Now he just went for prayer every morning. At least there, his mind was sharper than in daily life. Then one day, the goblin approached and felt like stabbing him with a knife. Now it wasn't just hallucination. To Min-soo, it was real. The blade piercing skin, blood flowing, vivid pain, his body bruised and throbbed. "Mudang, I can't take it." He rushed to the door, but it was locked from outside. "Hold on, almost there. The last 30 days, we'll do a different prayer. Just endure a bit more." As always, when the candle went out, the shadow and goblin disappeared, leaving him exhausted. The new prayer the Mudang mentioned was even scarier. Same room, drink water, thick cushion on the floor, kneel, but hands and feet tied with rope, eyes blindfolded with black cloth, ears with a device making wave sounds. In that state, the goblin hallucinations intensified. In the dark, red eyes glared, sharp claws raked his chest. The knife-cutting feel was so real, he screamed, "Save me!" Body limp, dark circles, no food, but mind insanely clear, making it scarier. Then one day, the goblin wildly slashed his body in hallucination, blade through skin, scraping bones, sound echoing in ears, body throbbing hot. Min-soo screamed, "Mudang, I can't anymore, feels like I'll die," banging the door, begging. The Mudang said, "Almost done, just endure the last 30 days. If you really feel like dying, tell me then." Blindfolded and tied, he endured 30 days, screaming from the stabbing feels. One day, too scared, he burst out the door. The Mudang stood there with two sharp knives in hands, eyes like they wanted to kill him. Min-soo's legs shook, he closed the door and went back, but the goblin shadow jumped from the wall to attack him. Finally, Min-soo clung to the Mudang, crying, "Save me! I can't anymore!" The Mudang said, "We have to do the gut, and to save you, give up all your possessions." Min-soo sold his car, canceled insurance, took home loans, gathered money. On the gut day, the Mudang performed the ritual, dancing with swords like fighting the goblin. The goblin growled toward Min-soo but got hit by the Mudang's knives and melted in the air. After the gut, the evil spirit is gone. Now control your mind well. Min-soo suffered hallucinations and voices for a while, but after 10 days, he slowly returned to normal. "Money I can earn again. I save my life and family," he resolved. A year later, Min-soo went fishing with his brother and passed near the Mudang house. They fished all night and drove back in the morning, stopped by to say hi, but from the gate, a woman screamed, "Save me!" Banging the door, it flashed back to his own screaming in pain. Peeking through the gate crack, the Mudang had locked the room door and stood ear to it with a zoned-out look. His brother said, "Bro, that Mudang's face looks like a drug addict." Brother had seen junkies abroad in college. That expression doesn't come from normal people. Min-soo's mind sparked. The water I always drank before prayer, could it be? So Min-soo waited, feeling nosy but needing to check. Waited for the woman to finish prayer and come out, then followed her home with his brother. Next day, Min-soo met the woman Ji-young had shared his experience. She was suffering goblin hallucinations too during prayer. "Several times a day, I want to jump off my apartment." Min-soo remembered a psychiatrist friend nearby and called. Doctor tested their urine at the hospital, positive for drugs. Doctor said, "These symptoms are drug addiction." But Ji-young wasn't in her right mind. Like Min-soo had been. "I can't stop the prayer. Almost done." She insisted on continuing. Min-soo, after thinking, reported to police. Investigation showed the Mudang spiked the water with drugs during prayer. Addicted them, then brainwashed with talk of goblins and evil spirits, escalating hallucinations. Finally pushed for expensive gut to drain all their money. But the Mudang wasn't the main culprit, manipulated by someone from the online fortune community who introduced people. The Mudang was once famous for strong spiritual power, but lately it weakened, so they got tempted into drugs. This drug could drive people's minds not to extreme pleasure, but to terror. Min-soo realized he'd been tricked and was shocked. All that hellish suffering and hallucinations, it was all because of drugs. Anger mixed with emptiness from losing everything. But on the other hand, returning to normal life felt like a miracle. Back with family, starting work again, hearing kids' laughter over morning coffee, he realized how precious ordinary life is. From then on, Min-soo vowed never to step into weird fortune places or shady communities. "I'll never go back to superstitions. Now I'll protect my family and life." His eyes grew firm. Every morning, he'd look in the mirror and say to himself, "Snap out of it and live right."